afternoon, everybody, and welcome along to Unley Libraries. My name's Karen, and I'm lucky enough today to have a wonderful author who's come along to visit us, Andrea Rowe. Welcome, Andrea.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Andrea has dropped in as part of her work with the May Gibbs Literature Trust. She's been awarded a May Gibbs Fellow. Mm-hmm. What a fantastic honour. Would you like to talk to us about how that's going, what you're doing, and your books?
Well, the fellowship is an amazing experience because May Gibbs, of course, was one of Australia's original storytellers and has created such a legacy of cultural stories for many Australians who grew up reading her work and enjoying her beautiful illustrations. Yes. So to be granted a fellowship in the May Gibbs Literature Trust is kind of, I guess, adding your story to the part of our wonderful storytellers' own pathway into books as well. So when you come here for the fellowship, you come to Adelaide, you get to live for a month in the May Gibbs Trust burrow, which is a little apartment. It feels like a burrow though, because it's like you're digging into this dark place to write stories.
Fantastic.
And for a month here, you can write to your heart's content. That's all you have to do, just write. And it feels like being on an endless summer camp for a month of just enjoying all this wonderful experience of Adelaide and everything it's got to offer. But if following the pathways, for me it's about picture books and junior fiction writing as well.
Fantastic. And as part of our collection here at Unley, we do have all of these books, but they were all out today, so I didn't have them, so I'm glad you're able to bring your copies.
Well, that's where you want your readers to be, where you want your books to be,
exactly.
In readers' hands.
Exactly. So you've got these amazing, we particularly love these ones because we're hoping that they're part of a little series, but I just wanted to talk about In the Rock Pool because this one has been used in a very special place. Did you want to just mention to everybody what that was?
Oh, sure. Well, In the Rock Pool is such a lovely little book, an early reader book introducing children not just to marine creatures but also to counting. But this year it is a CBCA Notable Book of the Year, but it's also been chosen to be the face of Australian picture books this year at a major international event called Bologna Children's Fair. And the Bologna Children's Fair in Italy is where picture book experts and publishers and writers and agents from all over the world come to connect with children's literature. So to be chosen by the Australian government as the face of what Australia's picture books are, which the beautiful artwork by the incredible Hannah Somerville,
yes,
is an honour for Hannah and I to share, and it was on big signs and backdrop billboards in Bologna.
Fantastic. And so you've worked with Hannah so she's been your illustrator on all of your books so far?
Yes. Hannah and I are up to our 6th picture book together that's in production. We love each other's storytelling styles. Obviously, I feel like she is seeing a dream inside my head when she's illustrating something that I haven't even realised was there. And now I find I write thinking about Hannah's style or thinking about the way Hannah could tell a narrative in illustrations. I can tell it in words. Hannah Somerville has an amazing talent to tell it in pictures.
Yeah,
so.
And they're cool. I love the fact that they're quite detailed, the pictures, but this one in particular is a CBCA winner, which of course is the Children's Book Council of Australia winner. And I think you've got something to show us here for that one.
I've even got the amazing medal that when you win a CBCA award, the author and illustrator are given a wonderful little gold medal. The children always ask me when I take it to schools if it's real.
Real gold.
I wish. Yes. But it's a lovely, as I talk to the kids, it's lovely it's like an encouragement. So when you do anything in school or growing up and you get a certificate or a medal or a trophy, it feels like it's someone saying, keep going, you're on the right path, you're doing a great job. And so it's a great piece of encouragement for illustrators and authors.
Yeah, and which kind of segues well into talking about our Juvenilia event, which we've got coming up at Unley Library. So Juvenilia is an exhibition that we're having here at the Unley Civic Library, which is on during June, the second half of June and the first few weeks of July. And that's going to be showcasing the childhood works of authors and illustrators national childhood authors and illustrators. And have you got something that you brought with you
I have.
that you can talk about? Because part of, you know, us doing this exhibition is to inspire and motivate children to continue to persevere with their work. And to not drop out of doing that amazing drawing and writing where they're so excited in their childhood to continue them on. So,
and I'm so pleased that you're doing this because for all of us, we all lots of writers and illustrators started out playing around with stories as kids in lots of different ways, and it's incredible through the Juvenilia exhibition to see what everyone's doing. For me, as a kid, legend has it in our family that I was like a very highly imaginative, bossy picture book lover, but I loved making lots of stories as well. This was probably the one that I most share with children when I go to school. So Timothy's Dream I developed in grade 5. Now I'm not an illustrator, so this was my probably best go at being an illustrator, and it proves why I've stuck to writing for the future. But Timothy's Dream was a story about a mouse that didn't have a house and needed to solve a problem, because every good book needs a character to have a problem to overcome or learn something about themselves as well. So obviously I was onto something very early about the fact that your character needs a problem, and then sometimes they need other characters to help them overcome. What I love about this story, Timothy's Dream, and I often say to children when I'm talking to them that it's good to write what you know. And in this story, I used to catch the blue ribbon bus to school, and so I actually talked about the blue ribbon bus.
Well, you're quite an illustrator as well.
Well, this was just an attempt at illustrating. But for me, this is a special book as well, because this was when I had teachers in school. I used to just sort of make books and really enjoy them. And I remember we had an opportunity in grade 5 to make a book that had a character arc and a narrative to it. So this was my giving it a very good go. And Miss Russell, my teacher, said, "A great deal of thought has obviously gone into the storyline, Andrea, well done." And I got a nice, happy, fantastic A and a smiley sun. But the most amazing thing happened then, which is where, as young writers, you need to sort of listen to these conversations. My teacher said to me, "I'd like to enter this into a competition." And sometimes when you're a young writer, you don't feel so brave and you're writing just for yourself, or you're not quite sure about what to do next. And when a grown-up says to you, it's time to go that little bit further, it's really good to listen. So for me, this was entered into a big competition in Victoria, because that's where I live, called Readers Write Around. It was in the 1970s. And I won this competition, and when you won it, it was like you got a Willy Wonka golden ticket to go to an amazing event in an old mansion with famous Australian authors. And my most famous Australian author that I loved was going there, and he got to read this book and say some very nice things to me. And he was a South Australian called Colin Teeley, who wrote Storm Boy, amongst many other books. So that's my South Australian connection.
Amazing.
But also it was an opportunity for a grown-up to see my writing and to encourage me. And Mr. Teeley said something very nice like, "Keep going, keep writing," and that was enough. Yeah. So that's my Juvenilia.
That's amazing.
And I treasure it.
And I mean, what an honour to have Colin Teeley talk to you about your childhood book. We've got actually a special event coming up on the 22nd of June where we've got nearly 30 South Australian children's authors and illustrators coming along to have a showcase where you can book in and come and meet and greet with them. And who knows, hopefully someone will have that inspiration and motivation from some of the creators that will be there on that day, which would be amazing.
If you have a young child that writes or illustrates, just to put them in the same room to have a conversation with someone that is quite aspirational for them. It's such a defining thing that can really build on their own experiences and confidence as well. It's great you're doing it.
Yes, thank you for bringing that in for us. Just before we go, I thought I might ask Andrea if there's anything in the pipeline coming up over the next 12 months. Maybe.
There's absolutely lots. So we have the second in the Rockpool series. It's called the Little World series, and it's called Amid the Sand Dunes, and that's about the sounds of the dunes. that both the Dunes make and kids make, and that's coming out this year. And then the third in the jetty jumping
This
series
is the one I'm excited about.
is a little bit top secret right now, but I can say to you it's a great book about one of the characters who maybe is quick to temper and fuss a little bit, so I'm looking forward to telling her story. And I have several other books coming out, including my first non-fiction picture book with Hardy Grant called Dogs with Jobs. And Dogs with Jobs is that book for the kid that loves facts and information and dogs, and it's all the ways dogs help humans and the environment as well.
Fantastic.
Lots more books that I've been writing
great.
into.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming in here with us today and having a chat. And hopefully we'll see some of you at our Juvenilia event in June. Thank you.